everyone, welcome to Simproved, Fry speaking here, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. Today we are going to build Beauxbatons Academy for our Harry Potter World project. For those who don't know, I and a lot of other simmers are trying to fill the Winterburg world in the Sims 4 with lots of Harry Potter builds so you can replay all of the movies if possible. And this is more of a project where I personally just was like, oh, I really want to build this. This is the French, not Hogwarts, but the French wizarding school. I did some research and I thought it would be interesting since this is a little bit of more of a prominent one because it got mentioned in the books and also in the movie. I think it is the 4th movie. I just recently watched it. I don't want to say anything wrong, but probably I will say some stuff wrong. So the hardcore Harry Potter fans will always and are always welcome to correct me here in the comments down below. But anyways, this is basically the school where the French goes to if they are wizards or witches, so to speak. I think it's also explained on Pottermore that it's also for the Benelux states and I think Portugal and Spain or something. But yeah, so I personally thought this is cool. We never see this in the movie, so there's not really a reference. And I also couldn't find any official, from Pottermore or the Wizarding World universe, I don't know, Warner Bros. They never released a real, painting of it, I guess. And if they released some sort of sketches of that house, of that academy, of that wizarding school, they were all very different. So I personally love that idea to create something totally new. I don't have to recreate it, but it has to fit into, the wizarding kind of aspect of something. And since we already have seen Hogwarts, which really looks castle-like, but also is kind of like a mix of lots of abbeys and monasteries and churches and cathedrals, I thought we we're gonna do something like this here as well. So on Pottermore, which is like the official website, we all kinda think that is like the official way to go for official canon compliant information, right? So there it is stated that it's actually in the Pyrenees and that it is in a very mountainy area. I mean, that makes sense. So I first wanted to look at, okay, are there castles in the Pyrenees that I could base this on? And I found Chateau de Pau. I will link to it down below. There's of course a Wikipedia for it. And it has this lovely bridge situation in the front. And this is basically how I based sort of the layout of this, but totally ignore the turrets and how the gables look like, how the roofing looks like, because that is even more something that I've seen from fans, because they all kind of thought, okay, probably Beauxbatons looks like a Baroque kind of Rococo castle, palace furthermore, and it also gets referenced, I think, on Pottermore that it is a palace. And I was like, is it a castle or is it a palace? Okay, let's do both of that. So we have a lot of mishmash of Baroque, Rococo roofing, but senseless, kind of useless turrets as well. But I think it makes it look kind of really like a, these very mixed and put together castles like Hogwarts, for example. So we do this here in the French style, and I looked at lots of French castles, and then I basically just put stuff that I found on one reference castle to the other and so on, and put that all together and kind of made my own Beauxbatons Academy. And I personally think it looks really, really cute. So for those who ask themselves, hey, cool, I'm really happy that you are gonna continue the Harry Potter world. Yes, we are all working on it. I wrote and pinged everyone that wanted to create something. Here is, by the way, a little map of how far Winterburg looks. And you can already see Beauxbatons is not on there, because this is, of course, on the 64x64 lot. And also I want to have Winterburg more of the English, the whole the scene of the movies basically. So I situated this on the Brindleton Bay 64x64 lot because I think that could be made French. And also it is of course not mountainy, because maybe if the time is right and I can do it, I will do Dormstrang, and I want to put that in, not Sleepy Hollow, what's the name? Forgotten Hollow. There you go. But yeah, so this is just like the whole idea why it is there, why I'm building this. I was really like, I really want to, you know, I kind of want to do this. I've also not seen any like YouTube simmer do this, or at least try to build this. So I'm like, okay, I love being the first. But there are, of course, on the gallery lots of other Beauxbatons academies, so definitely, of course, not like worldwide first, but I haven't seen any videos, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this then. I'm gonna use that one. So here we go. There is this really, really huge bridge, and then in the front there will be a bridge crossing over under that bridge, and that was the thing that I saw on the Chateau de Pau. I love that name so much. Okay, and by the way, all of my French viewers, I'm sorry if I mispronounce stuff. I'm German. I mean, you know you know how it is here. I mispronounce lots of stuff. So yeah, I'm sorry. Feel free to kind of explain to me how to pronounce stuff. I think I'm not like super bad at it, but I try my best. But basically what I use here a lot is, if you want to rebuild this on your own, you don't have to, because of course it is on the gallery and the download is down in the video description. I used a lot of Get Famous, Vampires, Realm of Magic, and I think that's kind of, oh yeah, of course, for the Romantic Garden stuff pack. So these are the stuff packs, gameplay packs, and expansion packs that you probably would need for it to look how it looks like now. And also if you want to, you know, build something in that certain style, I think these are the 4 packs that you would need then. Of course, I used all of the packs right now. So for the interior design, there may be some knickknacks that are, of course, from other packs, but I would say these 4 are definitely the most prominent ones. And at the end of the video, there will be a video tour, so you can see everything a little bit better and in detail, because, of course, the speed builds are always very speedy and you can't really see what I'm doing. Also, this took me about, I think, 15 or 16 hours. You might have noticed that the sound is really, really awful right now. This is because I'm not at home and at my parents' house in Spain, and I'm doing this on a crappy laptop, but with a good microphone. But I have no idea. I think the room just in general is so cold, and like there's no textile, so I think the sound is just awful here. So yeah, I'm sorry, this will change after December. So far this is how the next 2 or 3 videos will sound like. I will try my best. But yeah, basically it took me that long. It took me not that long because it is a totally made up castle, right? Like I didn't have to look at every little angle from a TV show or like a movie or something to, you know, to make it just right. So I really like that freedom, of course, and I really hope that it is, you know, how you maybe imagined it as Beauxbatons. For those who have absolutely no idea what I've been talking about the last 8 minutes, just see this as a magical kind of castle, and your Sims can live in it now. It's more of a boarding school. So I was also interested, if you might know, because I'm not using any CC in my builds, and I'm even more picky with mods. And since I don't play the game, I have no idea about gameplay mods as well. So if you would know that, maybe there is a boarding school mod for The Sims. I know there's a school mod, but it's not a boarding school mod. So that would be interesting if there is, or maybe you can make a working boarding school with a get to school mod. I'm not sure, but yeah, basically that would be interesting, because then this would make more sense if you have that modification for the game, and yeah, use it that way. I have set this to residential, so when you download this is kind of like a house that your Sims can live in, of course, and then you kind of have to pretend that they go to school or live in the castle, whatever. So yeah, basically I also used a table from, I think this is Movie Hangout, but I'm not sure. But it is a rectangular table. And I use this here for the little domes, the white domes. The white dome itself is a fountain spitter thing, which is also from a pack, but I can't remember which one. But yeah, basically these two are always quite good for these kinds of build, because then you can create like a little bit higher turrets, higher towers than usual. And I like that a lot. It's kind of like a neat little trick. But basically, because it is, you know, inspired kind of by like a Rococo sort of fantasy castle that defies all gravity and architectural structure, I could, you know, make them really, really high, like really high ceilings, lots of stories, then putting lots of these little dormers on the roofs and whatnot. So yeah, that was lots of fun to kind of overburden it with that kind of stuff. So it is heavily cluttered on the exterior, which I really like. Of course, like older castles, and I mean centuries here, are not that not that overburdened on the roof, I guess. But I personally love this because this is also like an angle that you play The Sims in, right? And then for me it's always super important that the roofing looks kind of good, and it was really tricky. By the way, all of the roofs are kind of roundish but have a point. It's like a pointed arch, so to speak, and that should remind you of the hats that the Beauxbatons ladies in the movie wear. I thought that is like a cool little nod to the movies, or at least to that one movie. I personally just watched it. I guess we started watching all of the Harry Potter movies now, me and my mom. And I think we finished the 4th one yesterday. And I realized that it is kind of depicted as an all-girls school, which it just isn't, right? Like in the books, it is, you know, guys are with them as well. So it is a mixed school. And I found that kind of odd. I don't know. And also Durmstrang, how we Germans would pronounce it, is also depicted as an all-boys school, which also it isn't. So that's kind of interesting that they did that. But okay. So here we are with the pools. I wanted to have kind of like a moat situation, but then I didn't. Hence, I did kind of like a thing like in Venice, maybe. I kind of wanted to have lots of statues everywhere. So there are statues on the bridge, at the bridge, on the balconies, at the sides of the building, on the roofs. There are statues everywhere. It's statue galore. And this is also why it kind of reminded me a little bit of Venice or something, like kind of with, you know, the canals and the very overburdened kind of bridges and whatnot. And I kind of thought that's kind of so elegant. So maybe we do that here as well and turn it as a moat, but it could also be just a fountain. You never know. It's a magical castle and I can do whatever I want in build mode right now. So this is how Beauxbatons Academy looks for me. I would have, of course, loved to make this even bigger, because I think it is referenced that they are really into the Brexon horses, which are basically horses with wings. And I wanted to, you know, add some stables maybe for these horses and whatnot. So there could be, you know, it could be expanded and like have more buildings and more park around it. But yeah, we only have 64 by 64 lots as the biggest slots in The Sims 4. But it's okay. By the way, I built this on a kind of sort of gooder laptop, and I think when I started doing the garden like I do here, it started to lag. So if you only have a small little laptop, I think this will be one of these builds that definitely kind of, you know, they take their time. So you can try it, but you know, they will definitely load a long time. That's for sure, because that's when it started for me to also in build mode be super, super slow. So keep that in mind if you want to download this. I'm happy if you want to. By the way, I think I've mentioned this, but I'm going to put the download link in the video description down below. And once the Harry Potter world is done, we try to get it finished by Christmas this year. So only 3 more weeks, I think. And then you can all have a big save file and put it into your game, and then you already have all of the buildings in that save file. So yeah, really looking forward to share everything with you. So yeah, the garden is also kind of very straightforward. I really didn't know what to put in there. It is referenced that there is, of course, the fountain of the Flamels, Pyrenees and Nicolas Flamel, you know, the ones with the Philosopher's Stone. And therefore, there is, of course, a big fountain, but you can also, you know, kind of see the moat as the fountain. We will never know. That's just, you know, the thing when you do an original kind of build. Here we are in the interior design, and I started with a great hall. I just thought, of course, they have a great hall as well, but since they are kind of more elegant and live in a palace, because it is referenced to be a palace as well, not really a castle, we go with full-on Rococo fantasy. So we have lots of Get Famous and Realm of Magic. So we do a crossover with these two a lot here, and also sometimes Discover University and Interior because they have the best bookshelves in my opinion. But okay. So we have 4 long tables. In the middle there are the round ones. I really wanted them to be bigger, but these only come in small with a white tablecloth on them. And of course there are the ice sculptures, because it is said that during the, you know, Christmas celebrations they have ice sculptures instead of Christmas trees. So there you go. The only ice sculpture we have in the game is an iced llama with wings. And yeah, I mean, it's the only ice sculpture we have, so I used that one. If I like the ice llama, I'm not sure, but yeah, there you go. There's also a kitchen on the side, which I did off camera, but basically when your Sims live there, they can easily get their food from that kitchen and then put into the, you know, big ballroom kind of thing. Yeah, I also wanted it to look like a regal ballroom, of course. It has 3 stories, so it is really cool. It has like a big gallery all around. And yeah, I just thought that this kind of nice looking, you know. So here we go into the other main building. You could have seen that in the beginning the house is kind of divided into the main building and then the dorm building. So this is the other side of the main building, which will have the classrooms. So we have a grand stairs here. By the way, I did not use any platforms. Platforms F up every build, in my opinion. They are so unstable, and since it already took me so much time and, you know, game began to lag, I was like, I can't handle this now. So I totally didn't do any platforming, because I'm pretty sure my laptop can handle it. And I've also seen so many issues with platforms that start crashing the games right now, which is a routine problem of the Sims. And then your Sims are in this internal loop that they can't get up there, but they also can't tell you, and then they just freeze, and then the whole game freezes. Something like that. I know the Sims team is working on it, but yeah, since the platform kind of cause a lot of bugs and glitches right now, I'm not going to use them until they are fixed. I'm sorry. But yeah, first classroom I did is potions. And yeah, cauldrons all around. There are also small little cauldrons on the glass tables. I thought these glass tables look so good, right? These are, I think, also from Get Famous. I usually never use them, but they're not that bad. I know that in the beginning I was like, Get Famous, one of the most useless packs, honestly, for builders, but I have to, you know, correct me here. Actually, Get Famous is perfect for these Baroque kind of castles. That is for sure. If you want stuff like interior stuff for that, it's the only option you have, honestly. I don't know why it isn't Get Famous, because it has nothing to do with Baroque. or Rococo or anything, but you know, sometimes the Sims team is inspired by stuff and we don't know. So there you go. There is also a big library, as you can see, and there are 2 little offices for the, I don't know, headmistress, headmaster, some sort of professor or whatever. I just thought these are really small rooms, so let's put some sort of office equipment in there. By the way, I tried to not use anything electrical in here, so maybe this even works as off the grid because we only have chandeliers and candelabras and sconces and stuff like that. No TVs. Oh, wait, in the dorm house where the dorms are, there's a common room, and I think I put a stereo in there, so the kids have some music and stuff, right? Anyways, so we have sort of like an assortment of different classrooms. They all come in this beige, gold, white, you know, kind of very, very boring color scheme. But then again, I thought, yeah, what can you do? It looks good, and it doesn't really have to be super different every time. So we have one with like owls, 6M owls, and like the owl skeleton heads. So I thought maybe that's like magical creatures or something, 101. And then we have one with some pottery and other kind of vases. And I thought, hey, in The Witcher, djinns have to be bent into some, you know, some sort of vessel. And maybe they learned that there. That's the classroom for bending things into little vases and potted urns and stuff. And boxes. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense, but you know, I wanted to make sure that Beauxbaton has a, like kind of like a different speciality. So, except of potions, I just thought, I mean, these look kind of, you know, the same. They probably also have potions. I thought maybe they also do gardening in a different way and do like these floral bouquets. And since we have this florist table, I think from Seasons, but I'm not sure, it could be Parenthood. It is definitely from one of the packs that I consider not to be so good for builders. They do magical flower bouquets because they are these elegant kind of people. So they don't make their hands muddy, you know, digging in the dirt some and stuff. I was like, they only drink, you know, their champagne and do flower arranging, magical flower arranging. But yeah, here we are already in the dorms, guys. So the dorms, I stopped recording at some time because these dorms are all the same. They all have the pink canopy beds, well, they are white, but like the canopied textile, I don't know, cloth is pink. They have this beige gray marble candelabra interior that you have already seen in the main houses. And basically they all have kind of like the same setup, you know, some couple of single beds. They all have their chest, their little blue chest where they can put their own private belongings. And then sometimes I spice it up with different closets and wardrobes and dressers and stuff like that. And of course, lots of different kind of clutter to kind of signalize that there's like a different person living there that has some different interests. So some have some sort of, you know, toys, so these are maybe the younger generations there, and some have like some rock star posters and are a little bit edgy and maybe are henceforth older, I'm not sure, you know, kind of that kind of stuff. But since it is kind of boring and kind of looks the same, I thought, hey, I'm not going to show you each and every dorm because it's kind of really the same, isn't it? This is the common room. See it as a living room that they can all hang out. There will be a chessboard, like I said, a music stereo box so they can, you know, make music, listen to music, dance, and sing. I think there's also a microphone. Is there something else? I think that's it from the activity wise. I think there's also the scout table, but I'm not sure what they do with that. I think that is from Seasons or Parenthood again. Maybe they can do stuff with that. I'm not even sure, but I thought it's cool. Maybe they do like a little project for their houses or something. I have read that it has 3 houses. Not 4 like Hogwarts, but then the names were super different, so I thought maybe these are not official. These are not canon. If they are, I'm not sure, because the names keep being different, and henceforth they all have one big door and no really like different colors and stuff. Which we have, you know, in Hogwarts. And since they live in the dorms and it would take ages for them to walk through, you know, over to the West Wing, I thought they need a kitchen there as well. So they have a kitchen with a table to sit there, so they can cook and, you know, hang out in the kitchen as well if they want to. I just thought that makes a little bit more sense, you know, to kind of, yeah, make gameplay just easier, let's be honest, because it takes time walking from point A to B for the poor little Sims, because they're kind of slow. Let's be honest. They slow. And yeah, that is basically the whole build, guys. I'm sorry I had to edit this down and cut this down to like just 30 minutes. Keep in mind that maybe recording has been 15 hours and building even more. But yeah, here's the top-down view for those who want to rebuild this, so want to see the layout or something, or the blueprints. Here you go, guys. So you have a better overview of everything. And now we go into the video tour, so you can see everything with the lovely panning shots. So this is the front, and it looks so beautiful. Honestly, for a fantasy castle, it was lots of fun. Even though I'm really not personally into super white and pink and fairies and stuff, I thought that is kind of like the essence maybe of Beauxbatons. And it was fun to kind of put lots of domes on it, even though that makes no sense. There's lots of things that make no sense architecture-wise, but I just thought it's fun. You know, it's a fun fantasy castle and it looks really pretty, in my opinion. And it took so much time to do the roofs, but I'm really happy how they turned out. And I hope you can see the hats kind of being implemented as the tower or turrets roofs sometimes, because I thought that is a nice little nod to their school uniform. But yeah, lots of statues. I think it was also said that there were lots of statues either in the movie or in the books, but I can't remember anymore. But yeah, so I was like, good, lots of statues it is. Here you go. So here we go into the main building with the big great hall, which is kind of like a ballroom. Kind of see it more of a ballroom. I really hate that the freezes now clip inside. Yeah, that's the Sims 4 game for you. I couldn't make it stop. So the gray bluish border, yeah, just ignore that. But the rest is beautiful, isn't it? And I'm really proud of my little mirrors here. That's a trick from Sim Architecture. Antoine, he's a fellow YouTuber and sim builder, and he puts the base game wall mirrors into the vampire paintings, and then you have this huge golden painting mirror, and I love that trick, so I use that a lot now. And the gardens is very, you know, very lush, but also lots of statues and kind of very orderly and strict and kind of, you know, boring kinda. But yeah, I think I don't have any flowers on that, only in like these pots or something. Here we are in the main hall foyer of the classroom building. This is the floral bouquet magic classroom. And this is the we try to bend things into objects and boxes and vases classroom. And this is the magical creatures 101 classroom. today it's owls, guys, magic owls. This is the potions, obviously. I really love this. I love, by the way, that Realm of Magic comes with so many white swatches, so I could use that a lot as well, because it kind of sometimes has like weird color swatches, but this one was really good and helpful, going with all white and beige and stuff. It is a little bit weird for me, because after a while I couldn't see any gold and beige and gray anymore. I was like, ugh. Yeah, I'm done with that. I'm really happy, because I think the next thing I'm going to improve on is my Hogwarts build for the Harry Potter world. There has been some inputs of you guys, so yeah, if you want to see my Hogwarts build, I will link to that down below as well. But I will also update this, and I have to expand a little bit on it as well to fit the world and the stuff that we know about it, you know, and also your suggestions and comments. And yeah, this is how it looks at night, which is absolutely beautiful. I love how it looks at night. I especially love how the bridge kind of thing there looks at night with the chandeliers. So nice. Yeah. And we also have some fairy lights, trees in the front, which kind of also gives us this very magical kind of look. So really like this. But yeah, basically that is it, guys. I really hope that you liked this build. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, a thumbs down if you didn't like it. I hope that you have been subscribed to my channel. If not, please subscribe to my channel if you're into Sims 4 builds. And that is basically it. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.